Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
I'm Corey Baumeister.
And we got Rob in the booth. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
He'll be taking all your questions, comments, concerns, and burns in the chat. Make sure you tag at Star City Games so he can see them, send his favorites over to us during the show. As always, we are brought to you by the aforementioned Star City Games, as well as Carnox Gaming Chairs. If you want to get one of these bad boys, we are very comfortable, so maybe you want to get one. You can get 10% off using our affiliate link, which is carnox.com/SCG. Very easy to go over there, get your 10% off, and please tell Cedric Phillips to get us Carnox chairs.
He's got to be getting sick of us, of people messing. I've never seen him respond to any of the comments.
Oh, never.
Never. But I mean, just look at, did you ever use the rock feature? This is nice.
That's what you're calling that?
Yeah. Yeah, with the rocking chair feature, right?
You really are an old man. Socks and sandals.
Yeah.
You took like half of the features of an old man, and you took like the nice, quiet old man.
Yeah.
And I took the grumpy old man features.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But together, we're just old men. So,
yes.
Yeah, that's the one thing to gain from this. Is
together we form the ideal old man.
Yeah, exactly. No, maybe a little bit of a split personality old man.
No, but the perfect old man.
Okay, we'll take that. Okay, so what do we got cooked up for a third and final round here?
Okay, I'm
just hyped I got the marbles from you locked up. You know, this is a guaranteed victory here. So I was doing a little happy dance in the round.
If I win this match 3-0, I've won 5 games to your 4.
Is it worth 1,000 points, Ross?
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to be playing Boros Heroic.
Okay.
This is a deck I think is being underrated right now. There are several different Heroic shells that are kind of cool. There's an Azorius base build that plays SRAM and a lot of auras. You know, all that glitters, ethereal armor, curious obsession.
Sure.
Which is kind of cool. And then there's this build, which is more aggressive. This is Boros. We're playing, favorite hoplite, Monastery Swift Spear, which is a nice one when you're casting all these pump spells.
Yeah.
Get some inadvertent
Just
value.
an underrated one drop right now, too. Like
one of the premier one drops in the format.
It really is, yeah.
Green has Llanowar Elves, black has Knight of the Ebon Legion, red has Monastery Swift Spear.
Yep, white has...
Black has Thoughtseize, too. Blue has Cloudfin Raptor and Siren.
There we go, and that's all the good one drops.
Yeah,
perfect.
For the 4 colors of Magic.
Exactly.
I actually am playing some white in my deck. We have favorite hoplite.
Oh, your deck must be bad.
Yeah, favorite hoplite, good one drop.
Okay.
In the deck. 10th District Legionnaire, Feather. all the hits from standard. But one of the keys here, I think, is and a card I think it's so much better in Pioneer is Dread Horde Arcanist.
Yeah. The legacy staple.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a hard card to work in standard because you don't have this high density of 1-mana plays. Yeah. This deck does, where we're playing cards like Titan of Strength, God's Willing, Johnny's Presence, Defiant Strike.
And the number one most important one drop.
Reckless Rage.
Reckless Rage. That is the reason why we saw Dread Horde Arcanist fall out. When Reckless Rage went, I mean, they were like, lamb and tuna fish. They just went together perfectly. So, yeah.
I don't know what you eat in your house. But I'm a vegetarian.
I don't have a response to that.
You just responded, though.
Let's say they go together like falafel and pita.
Wow. I mean, come on. Mine's just a premium Billy... No, not Billy Madison. Happy... Dang it. What's the Adam Sandler movie where he... Big Daddy. Mine was just a premium Big Daddy reference.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah. He's like, it goes together like lamb and tuna fish. And everyone's just like, it's like, what, you prefer spaghetti and meatball? Come on. Someone had to have got it out in chat.
I'm sure exactly one person did.
Being born in early 90s, Adam Sandler had a huge influence on my life. So
that is unfortunate.
Yeah, thank you.
One comment of Corey is a psycho. So.
Yeah. Only one? Hey, above par for most times.
But
not
bad.
F's yet.
No F's. Okay. Well, at least put some C's in there. I mean, we don't deserve higher than that. That's for sure.
I do think Reckless Rage is a really key part of the deck. It goes well with all of our creatures. Super efficient removal spell in a format where the removal isn't great. This list is getting even extra aggressive with a couple copies of Temur Battle Rage. Nice combo with Titan Strength. So we can end the game really quickly. We have, the classic God's Willing, Johnny's Presence to protect our creatures. I like that, this deck is a very low curve, mostly all 1s and 2s except for Feather.
Yeah.
So you're going to get ahead. You've got really strong creatures at every spot in the curve, and then strong interaction, good removal. And a quick clock. So I think this deck is quite strong.
Yeah.
And you should not be underrating it.
And I'm honestly terrified of this matchup. Just thinking about how this could go, I'm not even going to try to fool you out there. I think this is going to be a bad matchup. I just think of Reckless Rage and I think of Tempest Jin, and I'm like, oh God, if that ever happens, I am just toast. You know, so we're gonna see how it goes, but I'm not too optimistic here. I'm gonna try my best, and we have some good ways to disrupt here. Mono blue is basically all disruption, but then my closer is a card that dies to your most powerful removal spell. So
your closer is Master of Waves, which doesn't.
That's
die
true.
To my removal.
That is going to be a very reliant piece, a key piece to victory here.
Historically, Mono Blue Devotion has been very good.
No, heroically.
Historically.
Okay.
Mono Blue Devotion has been very good against red decks.
Okay.
Because they main deck Tidebinder Mage. Master Wave is just very difficult for them to deal with.
Yeah.
But now you're not main decking Tidebinder anymore.
Yep.
You do have some good interaction. You know, Merfolk Trickster can stall me for a turn. Tidebinder Mage is something I have to watch out for.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, you have copies of Quench in this build. This is from the top 4 of the challenge.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of those, but they can come up in this build.
They can,
in
you
this
know.
matchup.
You probably don't have a free 2 mana around like ever.
Yeah. And if I don't have a super fast draw, if I'm more disruptive, Master of Waves, even with a couple of elementals coming along, is a really powerful.
Yeah, we're going to see how it'll be. I'm very interested. So I'm going to keep my hand's okay, but
my hand is quite solid. We will start on a favorite hoplite.
Okay, and that's the one you get +1/+1
counter, and you prevent all damage to be dealt to it this turn with a heroic trigger.
Okay.
So in combat, even if it's not sized properly.
Your turn.
And then like Reckless Rage, you target it, heroic triggers, it won't even be dealt anything.
Okay. That's a spicy one.
Yeah.
You love your heroic cards, huh?
I do. So I will go to 18.
Okay.
It's not a bad draw. We'll play 10th District Legionnaire.
Okay.
Attack for 3.
I will take it. 17.
17 to 18, you're up.
All right. Already massively far behind.
Yeah, no wonder I'm from the blue deck.
And we'll pass to you.
This looks like a Merfolk Trickster.
Could be a lot of
Could
things.
be a Brazen Borrower going on an adventure.
Could be a lot of stuff.
I would like to declare an attack.
Sure.
I will attack with both of my creatures.
All right. Yeah, no blocks.
I will Defiant Strike the 10th District Legionnaire so I can get a scry.
Okay. You can scry first. That trigger resolves.
I will bottom that one.
Okay. And what do I want to do about that? I probably want to do something here. Let's try to petty theft that in response.
I will God's Willing and trigger heroic again. So now I have a scry from the heroic trigger.
Okay. And this does not go on an adventure now since it will be pro blue.
I think this one is good. So we'll leave that on top twice, and then we will draw it off of this Defiant Strike.
Okay.
Now you'll take 6.
Yep. Take 6.
Brings you to 11.
11.
Pass the
And
turn.
I feel horrifically far behind already.
So, Ross, how much have you won in your history with the with these heroic decks?
I played Bant Heroic in exactly one standard tournament, and I won the tournament.
All right. Not bad. Not bad.
100% conversion rate.
100%. Okay, your turn.
Interesting that you have no play. So we have more interaction from you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will play my land and try to attack.
Beginning of combat, we're going to target this. We just got to stem the bleeding, even though I just feel like we're just really far behind right now.
That is fine.
Okay.
And now, do I want to attack? I have a trick I can use, but I'm not sure I want to use it. I'm a little worried about a Master of Waves next turn.
Be fortunate to have that magic card.
But not super concerned about it. I think I can beat a Master even. So I'm not going to attack. I'm just going to get this feather down.
That's terrifying.
And I will pass.
All right. We will untap. Drew a land, which is nice. Now we got some options here, but all of them feel pretty bad with Feather in play. Feather is just a really broken card right now. But I think we just have to play Master. It's the only thing we can really do. So we get 3 elementals, and we'll pass it to you.
Okay. On my upkeep.
Must be a God's Willing.
It is not, but we will Titan Strength the Feather. It'll get exiled.
Okay.
Scry 1.
Sure.
Don't want that one. Bottom that. Draw for turn.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that
this
thing's
is now
big.
6 power.
6 power, and I'm at 11.
Okay, I am going to Define Strength the 10th District Legionnaire. Scry
Okay.
1. We're just digging for a Battle Rage.
Yeah.
Bottom, a Favored Hoplite. Do not need that one. Draw. Yeah,
That's
that one gets
exile.
exiled. Attack for 6 in the air.
All right, down to 5.
5. And then play a land, and these come back at the end step.
Yep, that seems insane. All right, well, we just have to find ways to stop the feather here from killing us. Easier said than done. No, we have to hold everything back, too, so we can't even really get aggressive. I just don't see any world where this is really going to go our way, but we'll play Tempest Djinn.
Sure.
Pass to you.
On your second main,
Yep.
I will Define Strike 10th District Legionnaire again.
Okay, your scry resolves.
Let's bottom that.
I'll quench. Stop that from coming back.
Okay, I have Reckless Rage for the Tempest Djinn and then Titan Strength.
That'll do. Yeah, and I can't do anything about that. Even if I save quench, it's like...
Yeah, I was just going to play around Quench.
Exactly, yeah. No, I mean, Mutavault kind of hurt me because I wasn't able to play Tempest Djinn, but I don't think that would have really even mattered.
If you had played
Yeah.
Tempest Djinn, you would have been dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just not having a 1-drop on turn 1.
Yeah, and there's just not many, right? Like, there's only Storm Tamers in this list.
That list
Yeah.
not playing Cloudfin?
Nope. Yeah, this is just Storm
I think Kurt's a
Tamer.
little high in that list.
I think it is too. And, a card that I've always loved with Mono Blue, and that's just been a staple, is Curious Obsession. So,
But if you're not playing a lot of ones...
But if you're not playing a lot of ones, and it's just trying to abuse the max amount of blue symbols to make the blue devotion god Thassa just better. And I get that. And sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't here. So I'm optimistic about the deck, but on the draw against these heroic decks, it just feels like an impossible battle.
Yeah,
But on the play, I think I have a lot better chance on this next game one.
I completely agree, but I also think you need it. You need a lower curve. You talked about having more devotion to enable these payoffs like Thassa and Master, but in order to actually enable them, the way the game plays out, you need to be using your mana, getting the battlefield every turn. That starts on turn 1.
Yeah.
And when I played this deck in Standard, I played a Gale Rider Sliver as a 9th 1-drop. Just as essentially, it was a 1-mana 1/1 flyer.
Yeah.
You had no other slivers in your deck except for Mutavault.
Mutavault.
And given that, flying sometimes was super relevant.
Super sweet.
But really, it was there as a 9th 1-drop so that I just curved out more often.
Yeah. And I like that. I really like the curve out effect more. And I even think Mutavault might be a little greedy when you have Tempest Djinn. Like, it just feels a little rough, but maybe it's okay. I don't really know. But
I think that list is playing 20 Island and 4 Mutavault, or 21 and 3.
Something like that. Yeah.
I want to play 21 Island, 4 Mutavault, and play 25 lands.
Okay.
Thassa is a mana sink, giving your creatures, unblockable.
Yeah.
And then Mutavault helps there. The list in Standard used to always be 20 Island, 4 Mutavault, 1 Nykthos.
Yeah.
Sometimes Nykthos could do crazy stuff, and you were playing Cyclonic Rift. Now Cyclonic Rift isn't good enough. I think Brazen Borrower is just better with Petty Theft.
Yeah.
So you don't have one of
Still
your...
Brazen Borrower. Petty Theft is it's quite the liability against God's Willing now too. Like, just in this matchup. Like, normally, it's pretty strong, but there's a lot of blowout effects that your 1-mana spells can have on mine. But
now that you're on the play, it's going to be harder for me to leave up God's Willing the entire time. If I'm playing behind a mana to play around your interaction, you can probably just race me.
Yeah, the problem is most of the time though, I have to interact on your turn, so it's already feels like you get to leave it open just by how it works, Yeah. But anyways, Rob, you got a question for us while we get ready for the second game?
Yeah, it's a little bit outside the game, but
okay.
Mad Bloom Mage says that they're dealing with some Magic fatigue right now. They're just not having as much fun after playing the game for, the last 5 years. And they were wondering, you both have been grinders for a while. How do you deal with Magic fatigue? What do you do to kind of reset and get back into the game?
I think I can start this. Honestly, it's just time off. You got to have something. I get into modes where I'm I have to test for this Pro Tour. I have to do this. And it's I just have to play constantly, or I feel like I'm obligated to. But then I test when I'm not really feeling it, and I don't necessarily even gain the right amount of knowledge. So it's always better to just, go for a movie night, go have fun, and just play some Magic that you generally love. Because, either Pioneer, limited, legacy, standard, whatever.
Cube, Commander.
There's one format that no matter what, everybody loves the most, and it might not be what you're trying to play, the next tournament you're playing for, but take a break and have fun and play the games you want. But also, do stuff outside of Magic. Have a non-Magic activity day when you are feeling burnt out, because it's not benefiting you to test And if anything, it might be hurting you because then by the time you get to the tournament, this happened to me so often. I'll be testing for a pro tour for 2 straight weeks in a testing house, and like I'm ready to hit the pro tour, hit the Mythic Championship, and then after 2 weeks, I'm just like by the tournament, I'm just like, ugh, like. Just don't even want to play this deck anymore. I played it so much, and then like I just do worse because I'm not enjoying it as much. So I've learned to really pace myself when it comes to that.
Yeah, keeping in mind that those are two separate things that you can do. One is get away from Magic entirely, and 2 is just connect to it in a more casual, fun way.
Yeah,
and remind yourself that that's how we all initially got into Magic. Those are both good, and you've got to sort of try things out, figure out what works for you. It's definitely a very personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
For years, for me, I never really got burnt out. It took a while.
Yeah.
I was playing 40, 45 weekends a year for 3 to 5 years straight.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I was perfectly happy getting home, and it was back when we were doing 2 one-day opens. I wasn't getting home until 2 a.m. on Sunday. Monday would be a slow day, but then like Friday I was back at it. And if I took a week off, I got a little antsy. Now I'm maybe I'm not 25 or 24 anymore. At 30, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And
our brains are just slower.
Yeah, I value the weeks off a little bit more.
Yeah.
Still, if I take 2 weeks off, I get a little antsy about it. But I definitely, it was important for me after I moved to Roanoke and started doing Magic as my like full-time job.
Yeah.
In addition to grinding, I really needed to find other outlets in my life. And that was sort of basically just work-life balance. Not a phrase I like, but that was something that I had to actively pursue. So if that's what you're missing, that's something that's a way to approach it. And that could be an issue. But if you're really just not having fun playing Magic, even though it's your hobby, then you're not playing the right Magic.
Yeah.
So I would say if that, it depends on where the issue is coming from, which of those 2 routes you take. But you definitely want to start with those 2 things, and then if that's still a problem, something deeper is going on.
Exactly. But I mean, yeah, even now, I'll, with streaming and playing and versus live, all this stuff, I play so much Magic, but even after 2 days or so of me not playing Magic, I'm hyped to get back into it. So, the love of the game is still there, but after playing 5-6 days in a row, when I stream or like get done with versus, go home and stream and then test for the Pro Tour and stuff, it becomes a lot. But then, take a day off to just go watch a movie, go for a bike ride, something like that. And I always come back revitalized. So great question. Great question. All right. So I'm going first.
Yep.
All right. This hand's pretty solid. We're going to keep this. A solid curve.
I have a hand that is both slow to get onto the battlefield, and once it does, it wants to play a grindy game.
Okay, so you're keeping it, huh?
I do not think that is tenable on the draw in this matchup.
That's fair. We got one more question, Rob?
Going back to the last match, how do you feel about an Is It deck that plays Crackling Drake? Is that something you could fit in a Phoenix deck, or is that just an entirely different deck that you would build?
I do like Crackling Drake quite a bit as a card. I fear that it takes a lot of splash damage from the presence of Felidar Guardian.
Yeah.
A lot of the cards that kill Guardian also kill Phoenix efficiently, whether they're Grasp of Darkness or Rending Volley, Fry out of sideboards, Reckless Rage out of this deck. People are looking for cards that kill Felidar Guardian, and so Crackling Drake is gonna. One of the issues with the card is when it dies to a really cheap removal spell and you lose a lot of tempo, losing your 4-drop that way.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned because of the existence of Cat, but in a format where Felidar Guardian is banned, I think Crackling Drake gets a lot better and should see some Pioneer play.
And I mean, unfortunately, though, because Merchant of the Veil is such a staple in this deck, it doesn't count Merchant in the sideboard as one of your spells, so... a Nambo, as some would say.
Nambo with Treasure Cruise too, which is already in there.
I it's just not the same deck where Crackling Drake was almost always like a one-shot kill in the last decks because you were getting so many instants and sorceries into your graveyard. It's just not the same anymore. So I really think Crackling Drake feels more like a standard card now than a Pioneer deck or Pioneer card.
Yeah. Okay, this is definitely going to be a keep, and the question is which card we put back, and it's one of these 2. Putting the land back is a little risky. This card just doesn't seem like it's great given my hand. Like, I'll want to see it in 5 or 6 turns, but I really need to, make sure I curve out well on the draw. So I'm going to
put 5 cards down then, man. Your turn.
Also, just a reminder that Drake is not a Nambo with Cruise because it still counts Exile.
Yeah, that's true.
but Haggle is.
Oh, haggle, yes.
That's
okay.
that's what I was.
Well,
referencing.
that's a nombo with just winning the game.
Yes.
You know, if you play that, it becomes a lot harder
Yeah.
to win the
No,
game.
Cruz and Drake is fine.
Yeah.
It's haggle and Cruz.
All right, go ahead.
The issue is always haggle. So we probably have a Merfolk Trickster coming down here.
Could be.
I only have one play. It's 10th District Legionnaire.
Sure.
Do I want to trade? I actually think I do. Can I attack?
Yep.
Oh, do you have... Well, Harbinger, you can't cast it instant speed for only 2 mana. Costs 4 mana to cast it instant speed.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll offer the trade.
I'll trade.
Okay.
Done?
Yep.
All right, well, I think we just have to go for the high-risk play and just go for it. If there's some kind of reckless rage stuff happening, obviously it hurts, but...
I will just play a feather.
Okay.
You can go.
Pretty strong, but definitely not backbreaking or anything. Now the question is how crazy we want to get here. Oh, this is tough. So our one kind of clear play that we'd like to do is this, but we're still punished by a few things. How many cards?
I have 4.
4. Okay. Well, let's try... Oops.
Probably want to play an island.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we'll play an island. Attack for 4.
I'll go to 16.
Okay. And I think we're just going to play Master of Ways here. We're opening ourselves up, but obviously a very strong play, so I'll pass to you.
That is a lot of power.
That is a lot of power.
I may just be dead.
We like that.
So let's Defiant Strike the Feather. It'll get exiled.
Yep.
Those are not good draws. I mean, I do have Reckless Rage, so Reckless Rage that and Jin.
Okay.
I'll get exiled.
Seems pretty strong.
So you are at 20.
Yep.
I will attack for 4.
All right, 16 all.
All. On the beginning of the next end step, these come back.
Yep.
And then still, I will... Oh, I guess I can't Reckless Rage again, so let's not try to do that. But let's get our Defiant Strike in.
Okay.
So we can make sure we draw another card.
Okay.
We'll get that back at your end step. You can go.
All right. All right, not a bad draw there. Not a bad draw. Okay, so we're going to play this. And we'll get in there for 10.
I will go to 6.
Okay. Now we're going to go with a Harbinger. Bounce.
God's willing.
Pretty strong. Pretty strong. I'm going to respond by Petty Theft.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the God's willing is still...
God's willing will be fizzled, but you'll still get that back. And then pass to you.
And I appear to be very dead.
A Master of Waves. Who would have guessed? Pretty good. I left myself open to the Reckless Rage, and it did happen, but still just the amount of value I have when you basically can't kill that card is kind of sweet. And this is a 3/3.
That is another interaction. So the only thing I can do is... so I'm at 6. I can play...
Feather, kill this, block. Still take well over lethal if that's your only thing, but...
1, 2, block. That's still 8. Or yeah, that's still... that's
10,
10, yeah.
right? Yeah. So you need like 3 removal spells, or just one. One white one.
The right removal spell.
Yeah, where's Path to Exile?
We don't have a lot of those in our deck.
Path to Exile was nowhere to be found.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the play was felt pretty good for me. You also didn't start with a super aggressive hand.
Mulligan didn't have a 1-drop, but I had a 2-drop. But because I'm on the draw, you had the opportunity to trade for it with the Merfolk Trickster, even without a 1-drop of your own.
Yep.
And then you play Tempest Djinn. I had Reckless Rage, so if I didn't offer the trade, I can Reckless Rage it, but then I don't have the Feather down.
Yeah.
But then your Master Waves is a lot smaller.
But then my Trickster were to live
so
if
it's
you...
not that much smaller. So it's only one fewer elemental.
Yeah.
So but you also have a trickster, and I'm trying to get in on the ground, which is a lot harder.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have generated that value. And then 2 pieces of interaction.
Yeah, it felt like it was an unwinnable game from each side on the draw so far,
So we are going to take a quick break here and get a third game in the final matchup of the day, where Corey will be on the draw. So sounds great to me.
Sounds just awesome. See you there.
Hello and welcome back to Sideboarding for our third and final match of the day on Versus Live.
Woo!
We are playing Boros Heroic against Mono Blue Devotion. So against my Mono Blue creature deck, I think the 1 mana uncounterable 4 damage to a blue creature spell is going to be pretty good.
You're a sideboarding expert.
Yes, that's my pro tip of the day.
Smart.
So we got some Rending Volleys. I'm bringing in 1 Ordeal of Heliod, and that's mainly because I want to get these 4 cards at the bottom out of my deck. I think Johnny's Presence is very poor in the matchup.
Yeah.
You're not actually destroying any of my creatures. You're bouncing them and doing other stuff.
Yep.
No rapid hybridizations in this list, notably. Johnny's Presence would be pretty good against that. I still get my 3/3.
Jesus.
My creature doesn't die.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and then Ordeal of Perforos, normally the kind of card that you should be good in a matchup like this. Kills a creature, makes my thing bigger. I don't think the Ordeals are particularly good.
Doesn't kill the ones you want, though.
Yeah.
3 damage doesn't kill Masterways or Tempest Shin.
Exactly.
So.
And so it doesn't kill the ones I want. It's slow to kill the cheap creatures.
Yeah.
And once we get to the mid game, when you get Masterways down, I need to race. And so I'm bringing in 1 Ordeal of Heliod to actually help in that race.
Yeah.
If I put that one down, then I can get somewhere. I can buy myself 1 extra turn.
Sure.
To kill you in the air or set up a God's Willing on a big creature or something like that. So the 1 Ordeal of Heliod is a concession to that. I think if you're playing Ordeals, you want to be playing things like SRAM and Hero of Erois, which this deck isn't interested in. So I'm not a huge fan of these in the deck. I think I'd rather see either more interaction or just a cheaper enabler for Heroic, but Ordeal of Heliod is a nice sideboard card. Sure.
It's not bad. I'm a little skeptical of it just because I have so much bounce, that maybe you might get a solid 2-for-1 out of there, but it's reasonable. It's reasonable.
With the Heroic creatures, it's pretty easy to cast it and have it sacrificed immediately.
True. Yeah. So that's good. Just a one-time thing.
Yeah. If they have 1 counter on them, then they get 2nd from Heroic, 3rd when they attack, and you're good to go.
That's reasonable. Okay, so from my end, I'm taking out Quench on the draw. I mean, it's just got to be the most unplayable card,
On the play, on the draw, just get it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we probably shouldn't have submitted this one, but that's fine.
I think the idea behind it in the deck, I was racking my brain trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I think it's due to the addition of Merfolk Trickster.
Sure.
I think they wanted something else to leave up, have the opponent think, oh, they have Merfolk Trickster here, do what they want to do. And if your opponent plays something that you really need to answer, like Dreadhorde Arcanist, Jace Architect of Thought, maybe they accelerate into a Planeswalker on turn 2, then you can quench it. So there's some reasoning there. But Quench is just such a weak card. There's got to be something better.
Yeah, no. I think the reason I think it's there is every 3 months or so, people forget that it's a card because it's so unplayably bad that it'll get someone. And now that people have saw Quench in it, they're like, oh, this card's very easy to play around. I'll just play this card first, and then Quench will go away for 3 months. Then it'll come right back, and it'll quench 1 Nissa, and then it'll go back into retirement.
All right, what's better, Mana Tithe or Quench?
Mana
Tithe is way better, yeah. Except you got to play white. That's not great.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah.
Mana Tithe is one of my favorite cards of all time.
If we had Force Spike, hello, this Force Spike would be insane in this deck. That would just actually be good. Okay, so we're taking out Quench. We're also taking out Smuggler's Copter because we just don't have that many great ways to crew it.
Yeah. I like this card in the deck if you're playing some of those cheap 1 mana
cheap 1-drops. Yeah, exactly. So on the draw, it's not great. On the play, I think I'd still keep it in. I think it's completely reasonable. Tidebinder Mage is pretty solid, shutting down some of your Feather, your other
Dreadhorde Arcanist, 10th District Legionnaire, Monastery Swiftspear.
Yeah,
every creature but favorite hot play.
Exactly. So I mean, we have great targets for this. This is an awesome card. We're bringing in some Spell Pierce, which I'm not super sure of, but I mean, it's just a cheaper Quench. So it's got to be good. All right, we'll shuffle up for this third game. We are 1-1, and importantly, it's been whoever's been on the play has won these games. So luckily, I'm on the play for this third game.
Guess again.
Can we rewind the tapes and see if he is indeed correct? All right, so Ross is going to be going first. You got another question for us there, Rob?
I've got 2 small ones.
Okay.
First is, would you think Censor might be a replacement for Quench, given that you can just cycle it and it becomes kind of an opt?
Yeah. I think Censor is also not great, but I do actually think it's a little better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It essentially becomes, added devotion because it sort of shrinks your deck.
Yeah.
Definitely better than Quench. Not sure if it's good enough.
Yeah, same. I don't know. Okay, what do you got for the other one?
And then the other one is, Ross, what do you think about playing some sort of white removal in the sideboard of this Boros feather deck, be it Chain to the Rocks or Declaration and stuff?
I think that's a good idea. This deck made the top 4, as much as we're making fun of Quench. Still, I think the Mono Blue Devotion Shell was strong.
Deck and Stone sounds sick.
Yeah, a card. Not a ton of mountains in this deck because we're playing Clifftop Retreat.
Yeah.
Advantages. So I don't think you have enough mountains for Chain. I think that's a card that really suffers from the lack of fetch lands.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of Declaration in Stone, where this deck is aggressive enough that it will close the game before the clue is relevant a large portion of the time.
That's what I was just
Deck
going to say.
and Stone can deal with multiple cards at once, which is a huge tempo swing. Really good against tokens if you don't have God's Willing to get through them, or you need to hold that up to deal with removal. It can deal with a bunch of tokens that'll buy a lot of time, chump blocking. So I think Deck and Stone is a great idea.
Yeah, and I was just going to add to that and saying that, like, you're such an aggressive deck. Like, clues just do not become relevant. I mean, there's just no time. So I really like Deck and Stone.
Okay.
Path to Exile, maybe we should put in that deck too. What were we thinking?
Maybe we need some paths.
Okay, you're first.
I have an aggressive hand here, but I think it's a reasonable keep. Not sure how it's going to play out. We could sort of peter out, and this draw could look bad, or it could look really good.
Yeah, and my hand it's okay. I think it's got to be an auto keep here, but it's nothing insanely special here.
It's okay, but is it Oko?
It's not Oko. God, no.
Okay.
Then my deck would be Broco.
Yeah. I will start on a Swift Spear and get in for one.
Okay, 19.
You're up.
All right. And land go.
I will play another Swift Spear and attack for 2.
No blocks.
You go to 17.
All right.
You're up.
Okay, that's pretty terrifying. We don't have a good play for that. We have our one Smuggler's Copter that I left in. We'll go with that and pass to you.
Ross, do you think Boros Charm could also be a good card in these feather decks?
I saw it in one list in the deck dump. I think it's reasonable, in particular if you're worried about Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
It's hard to fit in. You need removal, and in addition to like enough cards to trigger Prowess and Heroic.
Yeah.
This one, Boros Charm just triggers Prowess, so I think it's okay in small numbers. I wouldn't want to play, 3 or 4 copies.
Like a 2 of has a little bit of reach. The creatures get double strike is somewhat relevant. Could just be a combo kill essentially. Like it could be better in Teamer Battle Rage, but I guess Teamer Battle Rage is probably a little better.
On my upkeep, I'm gonna Titan Strength one of the Swift Spears.
Okay. That's a lot of damage.
I think that is a good card. So we'll leave it on top, and we will just attack you. This is going to be 7.
7, okay. I'll take it.
To 10.
Jeez.
I will play a Plains and pass the turn.
All right. I don't feel great about this. Well, yikes. Our hand is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay, we're going to go with the Harbinger of Tides.
Sure. So that's going to bounce one of my Swift Spears.
Yep. And then we're going to crew.
Crew is good.
Attack.
Before you declare, I will Reckless Rage these 2.
Okay.
Prowess trigger makes my Swift Spear survive.
All right, and pass to you. No land. That's trouble.
I think that was a good draw.
I'm probably dead.
Titan Strength Battle Rage.
Oh, God. Yeah,
that's going to be 12.
Okay.
Let's try this one to the bottom.
Like, even if I had more turn, I was not doing anything here.
I just had double Swift Spear, a couple removal spells, and all these pump.
Yep.
The Battle Rage was definitely this was I only had 1 Titan Strength in the opener.
Yeah.
And the Rending Volley, actually, I think these were my first 2 draws. Yeah. So we had, this was my opening 7. And I'm thinking like, okay, we got like a nice aggressive opening.
Even just with that, you put me to 1,
Yeah, and then I drew some nice ones on top of it.
Yeah,
another removal spell, another pump spell, and the Battle Rage, which is a card I was definitely looking for. So this hand panned out and just played super aggressively.
Yeah.
Ended the game very quickly.
Yeah, it really did.
That deck's curve is too high. You need to be starting on 1 a good portion of the time.
Yeah, and I mean, Curious Obsession is how you gain some advantage. It wouldn't really be insanely powerful here because you do have premium removal, and it might just be a way to get 2 for 1. But still, I think you have to be doing something like that.
I want to play some number of Spell Pierces because they protect your key threats, Curious Obsession, Tempest Djinn, Thassa Master Waves, but they also stop, Saheeli Rai and Teferis and things like that. So I think it's a little bit better than Dive Down for the versatility. And so I want that and Rapid Hybridization to be my interaction.
Yeah.
Rapid can kill Felidar Guardian, can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Dive Down's sweet.
Yeah.
I would rather have Dive Down than Quench.
Yeah, well, I think Spell Pierce is better than Dive Down.
You think so?
Yeah, because of the ability to counter the Planeswalkers. I think you need
That's
that in
true.
the main.
That's
I
true.
think you can sideboard Dive Downs if you against heavier removal decks.
Sure.
But main deck, you don't have a lot of room for interactive cards. You play 4 or 5 max. And I like Brazen Borrower in small numbers. I don't want to play a ton of it because we already have 2 really good 3-drops. But I like that in small numbers. But I want to play Cloudfin Raptor and Siren Stormtamer, which this list has. I think Stormtamer is excellent.
Yeah.
And that's kind of your dive down. And then Curious Obsession, so you have 8 ones, not a bad number to go with Obsession. And then, you can go have draws where you go like 1-drop, Curious Obsession. And they're forced to kill your 1-drop, and then your Thassas and your Masters are fine, and your Tempest Gins. Yeah, you lose some Devotion, but the Curious Obsession cantripped, so you're not behind on card advantage. They're probably using a 2-mana removal spell, so you're about even on tempo. Maybe you lost a mana.
Yeah.
And that's the worst case scenario. If you're playing against, mono green, your Obsession is going to draw you extra cards, ensure that you curve out, which is what you need to do in the matchup.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, I would like to see those kind of changes as well. But these games are so lightning fast. I think we can jam another one here.
Yeah, you want to fit another one in?
Yeah, let's do it.
You just want to.
Real quick for chat, some of them didn't see that, but you Titan Strength on upkeep, Scry, saw the rage, and then drew for turn.
No, I
draw off the rage.
No, I just drew for turn because I wanted to redeploy the second Swift Spear.
You did that the turn before, I think.
Oh, the turn before, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Battle Rage that turn. That was when I drew the Reckless Rage.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, Reckless
I
Rage.
didn't mean that.
No, I upkeep the Titan Strength. That's a pretty,
pretty nice play.
With your tricks that Scry, casting them on your upkeep when your opponent's tapped down and you're trying to go for the kill. That was pretty frequent with God's Willing.
Yeah.
They leave back a blocker and you're like, okay, I got to kill him this turn.
Yeah.
Upkeep God's Willing. I need to find one more trick. Let's get 2 draws.
Get some extra looks at it. Yeah. No, I think that was a good play.
Oh. I think one of the mistakes people are making when building these blue decks is they're saying, well, there have been 2 really good mono blue decks in Standard, Mono Blue Tempo and Mono Blue Devotion. Let's merge them. And they're 2 completely different decks.
Yeah.
So you need to pick a lane and then find the cards that work in it.
Agreed.
As it turns out, a lot of the cards from the Mono Blue Tempo deck fit into the Devotion deck still.
Yeah.
Merfolk Trickster is great. Tempest Gin is great. Siren Stormtamer is great. And then when it comes, and Curious Obsession is great. And because you have Obsession and you have these high value threats, the dive down Spell Pierce aspect of that deck is also good. But you don't really want the 2 and 3 mana counter spells in your main deck.
I don't think so.
You can sideboard some of them.
I like Spell Pierce though. I like a 3 of Spell Pierce in the main. Seems kind of nice to me, because if you ever get that turn where you go Tempest Shin and they go try to go Oko, on turn 3 to just turn into an elk and you get to Spell Pierce it, you win a good percentage of those games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I get to go first here. Ooh, look at this sweet hand. Deal with it.
I have the awkward Mountain Clifftop Retreat favorite hoplite draw.
Yeah.
I think this hand is actually just too white heavy. I'm going to stumble a lot with this hand. But if I do draw 1 more white land, it's actually really good. Well, is it in this matchup? It could be good in some, but you actually have a lot of blockers on the ground. I can't I'm not getting through that well. I don't have any removal in this hand. So on the draw, I think this is not good enough.
Yeah, and my 6-land Spell Pierce is about as unplayable as you can possibly get in this matchup.
I mean, Basic Island is the most broken basic, right?
That's true, and it is the most beautiful one, at least with these full art ones. It's nice.
Can agree with that.
Yeah, I know we've been trying to run you dry with questions today, but there's been so many good ones. You happen to have another one there, Rob?
Yeah, this is kind of going to the Ross talking about the deck trying to be the mono blue deck is trying to be 2 different things.
Yeah.
So is Curious Obsession just not good in a Devotion build of this deck?
No, I think Obsession is good as long as you play the requisite number of 1-drops to enable it, which is probably minimum 8. Maybe you don't play the full 4. I don't know that you can massage the numbers with it, but it is basically a 1-drop that, if left unchecked, is incredibly powerful.
Yeah,
and it's pretty easy to just get the first cantrip out of it. And drawing out the removal, even if you're losing both the enchantment and the creature after drawing a card, you're not down any material, and you're drawing out their key removal spells on your worst threats, so that your Thassas and your Master of Waves and your Tempest Gins live. So I think the card works fine. You just have to work harder to enable it and lower the curve.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. Okay, so we are down to 6 cards here. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. Is that a good one?
Yeah, that seems like a combo right there.
Yeah, that is a combo.
So I have the same choice of putting back a land or a trick here on my 6-card hand, and this time I'm actually going to put back the land because I think the way the texture of this hand with the removal in it means I'm going to play a little bit of a longer game, and I don't want to flood. And this is the kind of card that can end the game quickly if a Master Waves comes down. So we'll put a land back.
All right, we're down to 5. Let's see what we got.
Get some 4s in chat.
4s, yeah, nice chat. Chat's turned on me. I love it. Okay, I mean, this hand is definitely reasonable. We're gonna probably put these 2 back. Yeah.
Just got to prioritize your early game curve.
Exactly. So we're gonna do that.
Together.
And we got a 1-drop. Your turn.
God, that's lucky. Oh, I drew a 1-drop. That's also lucky.
That is lucky.
You're up.
All right. We got a land here. We'll for sure attack.
I will go to 19.
And we'll pass it to you.
Got a little Merfolk Trickster action over
Might
there.
be.
That was not a great draw.
Oops.
Okay, I will play a 10th District Legionnaire.
Okay.
Declare tax.
Okay.
Attack for 2.
I'll take it.
You go to 18.
18.
You're up.
Untap.
Ooh, no Trickster.
No such luck. Now I think we'll go with a Tidebinder Mage. Lock that down forever.
Oh.
And then attack for 1.
So 18 all?
Yep, your turn.
Ugh. Well, getting punished for putting the land back.
Yeah.
Oh, that was actually... I put the wrong land back for sure. That was that. Like, I don't know why I put Clifftop Reef back.
Yeah, there were some questions from chat about that.
I was just like, oh, I mean, that's going to need to be tapped. Look, if I put one of the others back. No, that was just that was a brain fart.
Yeah, switch it out. You clearly meant to do that.
Okay.
That wouldn't make that wouldn't make sense. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time.
I will play a Monastery Swift Spear.
We get chat to make fun of you a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And then we will attack for 2.
Yeah, definitely can't block, so.
Just take 2.
All right, 16 to 18.
You're up.
All right. Okay, well, I think we'll get in there.
I'll go to 15.
And pass it to you.
So we did mess up again because if you did keep the retreat, you couldn't have played the hoplite on 1.
Oh. Yeah. That's why. But I didn't have the hoplite.
Yeah, you played it on turn 1, didn't you?
Yeah, but I drew it for turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's just say I screwed this up.
Okay,
let's just say I attack for 1.
Okay.
And then play this post combat. So you have 1 more life.
Okay, so I'm at 17.
You're
17
at
to 15.
I'm at 15. You're passing the turn.
Yep. Okay.
Let's stay stabbed.
We did it. We did it.
Okay, we drew a red source. That helps a lot.
Did you draw off the bottom?
Huh?
Yeah, just kidding.
I wanted
That was lucky. It was on the
wanted to check
bottom.
myself. Play another Swift Spear.
Sure.
Attack.
Yeah. Sure. No blocks.
Take 3.
14.
You can go.
All right. We're going to go with. End step. Trickster.
Sure.
Target this.
Sure.
Untap.
Yeah.
Attacks.
Rending Volley the Tidebinder.
It's uncounterable, huh?
Indeed it is.
That's uncool.
What's uncool is this Master Waves you're about to cast.
All right, so this is
take
dead.
3, go to 12.
Okay, and we don't have that, but we do have a Tempest Shin. Pass to you.
That is also pretty good.
But your board is terrifying.
I will send in the clowns.
Jeez. Okay, if I don't block and you just have 2 heroic spells, I think I'm just dead. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh yeah, I have to be dead if that were the case. So Oh, this feels unwinnable. But if you just have one Titan strength, then it goes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It wouldn't kill me.
One Titan strength would be 11.
It's not like I'm even winning on the crackback here. So maybe you're just going wide just to get damage in. I think that's what I have to hope for. So we'll block that thing.
Block the favored hoplite.
Sure.
Okay.
This does not feel good for me.
So this is gonna be. Is this just 14?
Mm-hmm.
And you're at 14.
I'm at 14. Yeah.
I will start by Reckless Raging, Tempest Djinn, and 10th District Legionnaire. Trigger Heroic.
Counter it.
Oh, so this gets countered. I will scry 1. Leave that on top. And then Battle Rage this. So this is 8, and these are 3s.
All right. Yep, that's game. That's game. Honestly, this matchup felt like 70-30. Maybe even like 75-25. This just feels, just with the way it's configured, I'm basically relying on Master of Wave or Bust because it's something that can block your creatures as well as actually give me a fast clock. Other than that, it just feels rough.
Well, we never saw Thassa, which is another actual good block.
That's true. Thassa is good, but it's so easily manipulated because if you just Reckless Rage the Djinn that's supplying the Thassa or whatever, then I'm just dead as well. But
I think the big problem is the deck's curve is a little too high, and so I'm just so able to get underneath you with all my ones. I think if your curve is lower, then you're going to be in better shape.
Yeah.
And if you have things like rapid hybridization, more 1-mana interaction instead of 2-mana interaction, then you can start doing something. But with the with the slightly higher curve, it really skews the matchup. So keep that in mind with your devotion decks. We saw with the mono black devotion deck that had a lot of 1-mana plays. So not a lot of them played to the board. It was just the one Knight of the Ebon Legion. But you also had Thoughtseize and Fatal Push, so you didn't fall behind. And then or you were able to get ahead because you're double spelling. You have Sorin that gets you ahead because it's like a double spell. You play it, you put a champion or some other vampire onto the battlefield, you've got 2 more permanents. So you've really got to focus on developing a good battlefield and getting ahead on board if you're playing these devotion strategies. And this mono blue deck just wasn't as focused on that. With the 4 quenches, had a little bit too much slow interaction. And I was able to punish you for that.
Yep, agreed. So overall, I'm not the biggest fan of the mono blue devotion, but the mono black and the copycat list, I was over the moons for. I think that was really good.
I think both of those are good. I think mono blue, if you build it with the lower curve, has a lot of potential still. We might look into that at a later date, though there's a lot that we got to cover. I think these heroic decks are good. The Boros one especially has so much pressure. And it still has the capability of grinding. With Feathered Divine Strike is still there. Maybe you don't want as many feathers because you're a more aggressive deck. You get card advantage from Dreadhorde Arcanist as well. So
I think that deck's good. I think it's really good.
I think that deck's good. The Sultai deck
felt really
solid.
good.
Is it Phoenix deck?
And this is coming from you. I
know a lot of people have had a lot of success with it. Ryan Overturf, Caleb Shearer was streaming with it yesterday, got a 5-0 with it. So, maybe it was just the matchup we were playing and the draws. It's a small sample. That deck also did really well in the challenge, multiple copies in the top 8. So the results speak otherwise, and we're a smaller sample. So I'm going to be skeptical of that deck, but there's power there.
There's definitely power. Yep, and it's still tuning to be done. I wouldn't be shocked if we changed 10 cards in that deck. Get more Virgins of Veil in there, and we just got a deck.
Don't put Hagel in your deck.
No, honestly, I think this was a really fun show. I gotta say, Pioneer continues to impress me. I think the biggest takeaway from the show is that I got the marbles. I mean, that's just really what matters the most here. And I think, if you leave one day thinking about one fact in general, just think that I finally got the marbles in Pioneer here one time. I know that's what I'll be taking home the most. Actually, I have to leave them here in the studio, but that's what I'll be taking home emotionally with me as well. Same for you? All right, so Ross agrees. Can we get some thanks for our subs there for gracing us? I'm guessing all the subs came from hype that I got the marbles this time, but I could be wrong.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't really tell. But I also think that the winner of the marbles on Thursday probably shouldn't go to whoever wins the games, but whoever comes in with a good costume.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Costumes for a Halloween episode. I've never really thought about that.
I haven't dressed in a Halloween costume since I was 11 or 12.
There's got to be a Phoenix costume out there for you.
Yeah.
Almost 2 decades.
We might have to think about a costume episode. That might be interesting. I would say the only way you're going to find out if we're into some kind of costume thing like that would be to tune in at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday, right?
That is when the show starts.
That is, okay. Yeah. And you're going to be excited, right?
Perhaps.
He's going to be exciid.
He's always excited.
Oh, yeah.
3 subs today. Beyond Sadistic is subscribed. Guy Fieri Ball and Brawl Star.
Nice. Beyond Sadistic, a big homie of my stream. So big shout out to them. All right, well, that's going to do it for Versus Live. This was a very fun show. We just realized once again how awesome Pioneer is. I mean, the queues are open on Magic Online. Go out and play some of these decks. I have like 3 favorites at the moment. So Pioneer just has the sky as the limit of the amount of cool decks that we can play. You best believe we're coming back Thursday to play some more sweet Pioneer action. And you know what? I'll spoil some. We got a surprise coming for you Thursday, so you're not going to want to miss our show this Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We will see you then. Bye-bye.